Over 7 million illegal cars are being driven on Britain's roads every day.
The ones that obviously drive around and know it's got no insurance, to be honest, I've got no sympathy for them.
Each year, hundreds of thousands of vehicles are seized.
So the information is drivers tried to run over his ex-partner.
And locked up at one of the country's car pounds.
You've come to pick your car up, haven't you?
This time, we're on the road with the police.
You were quite clearly stopped at that red light, and then all of a sudden you decided you weren't going to stop for that red light and went through.
It's not taxed since July.
The parking enforcers.
We've got a persistent evader on Holly Street, over.
We're authorising for this vehicle to be removed.
And we've joined the people behind some of Britain's busiest car pounds.
We're trying to get loaded as quick as possible before we start gathering a crowd.
Do not cancel the insurance if you don't hear from a customer. So they cost me 6 points.
To uncover the shocking.
It's not uncommon for objects, food, liquids to be thrown at us out of flat windows.
The miserable.
So far, a £600 bill.
Distressing. It's very distressing.
I was just speechless. I was in tears.
And downright dangerous drivers committing all kinds of vehicle violations.
That's going to be where he's crashed.
These
The bike comes with us.
are the highway heroes cleaning up our streets.
He's called into A&E and he's now disappeared from A&E. We can't find him there.
And once you've lost your vehicle, if you don't pay the fine,
Can I give you the details of a removal, please?
If it's obstructing traffic, it's got to go.
you can wave goodbye to your wheels
Don't be stupid on bikes, respect the law.
for good. Car Pound Lantern Recovery plays an essential role in keeping Britain's roads safe from illegal or dangerous vehicles.
He's looking to hopefully get the vehicle out this afternoon.
Amber runs the reception and is the voice of calm when it comes to dealing with frustrated customers.
It's real life. It's people, it's enjoyment, it's dealing with people with their best and their worst.
I don't have to call anyone. I'm trying to help you here.
I wouldn't be here for 18 years if I did not enjoy it. OK, so I understand that you've come in to check a vehicle?
Yes, no. My car was taken up this morning.
Today, her skills are being put to good use. Owner Edward has come in to collect a lorry.
OK, so we do appear to have your vehicle as a bailiff pickup. It seems that you will need to clear the charges directly with the bailiffs involved.
Okay.
So the storage charges are significantly more than any vehicle, and there would be a truck recovery fee that would be involved in that. So at the moment, today, it's $516. That's the recovery plus a fuel surcharge.
Okay.
I will get one of my colleagues to go down and just let you have a visual of the vehicle.
Yes.
So you can look and make sure everything's fine.
Yes.
This is an eye-watering amount for Edward to have to pay up, but there is a reason why the price is so steep.
That vehicle was recovered from what they termed a traveller site, and it was caught up within the recovery because they were moving various cars and small vehicles, and this particular vehicle came to us as a result of not being their usual fare as being a heavy 7.5-tonner and loaded. So they called us.
I was there when they were trying to tow the lorry. I arrived before the lorry moved. I don't see the reason why it wasn't given back to me. As far as I'm concerned, there was no real reason to take it. The bailiffs, I see them as vultures. You understand? They are for a system that no one gains but the bailiff and the system. This vehicle is for export. This vehicle is going to Jamaica. Yeah, so it was in storage in Enfield. And basically, I don't know what happened. I've just got so far a £600 bill. I don't know where we're going forward from here. I don't know if it's the recovery company that is responsible for the damage to the vehicle or, well, it's got to be because it was there before.
Whoever is to blame, Edward needs to come up with some money fast if he wants to avoid more car pound costs. Car Pound CMG in Northamptonshire are answering an urgent call from the police. Ashley is one of the CMG drivers trained in crime scene vehicle recovery.
So we're off to Wellingborough. The police have asked us to go and recover a Vauxhall Corsa, and they've asked us to put it in our Socko bay, which is our scenes of crime, so it can be forensically tested. They're harder to recover because the police want it for scenes of crime, so forensics and things. So we can't really be touching it in certain places, like door handles and edges of doors and things, you know, like high traffic areas where people would touch it. We're not allowed in the vehicles, so we have to try and recover it, no matter where it is or what condition it's in, without touching it, basically. It's always a little bit harder, but it's a challenge, and we like challenges at this job. You want it for Socko, don't you?
Police suspect the owner is nearby, so Ashley has to work quickly.
So because it's for Socko, I'm going to put some gloves on, because if I do have to touch the car at all, then it saves any like cross-contamination. Just trying to get loaded as quick as possible before we start gathering a crowd.
With watchers gathering, Ashley needs to work fast to avoid sparking the interest of the owner.
It's always we gather a crowd. All right, cheers lads, see you later.
All cars seized as evidence for crime have to be locked away in a special area of the pound with extra security. Once locked up, the vehicle can't be touched until the police forensic team have got all the evidence they need. It's often the police who are the first link in the chain of events that lead to a vehicle ending up in a car pound. And today, Sergeant Dan Ayrton from Surrey Police is on the lookout for an abandoned van.
Got to keep an eye out for a Ford Transit that's parked in the road. Tuesday, I'm just looking for this abandoned Transit. Do you know how far down on Forbridge Road it might be?
Apparently it's mapping at the junction of Park Road.
Oh, yes, there it is. 2-0, we found it. It's likely, really, that it's going to be recovered because it looks like it's been damaged and the owner has decided not to come and collect it, potentially for reasons of intoxication or otherwise. It has got damage to it, so it would suggest it's been involved in a collision, and I would suggest that there is the car that it's hit. The job itself is quite old. It came in at midnight, so in terms of any evidence of anyone drinking or anything like that, we're pretty much quite a long way out of that window, really. I'm going to go and have a look and see if there's any evidence of any injuries, because that's really the main thing we're interested in. Because if somebody's been injured as a result of the collision and we don't know about it, then obviously we need to make sure they're all right.
So far, the driver hasn't been traced. Failing to stop after a collision is a criminal offence which can lead to 6 months in prison and a £5,000 fine.
Right, that's going to be fun.
The sooner a recovery team can remove this dangerously abandoned van, the better.
If we are on a strategic roads network or an area which is safety related, quite often we will have to cone out a section of that lane, which puts us at risk and other members of the public. So they do try and get to us as quickly as possible. 2-0, irritatingly, is locked, so I can't get into it. And airbags haven't deployed, so there's no injury that I can see, there's no blood or anything like that. I'll call recovery. We'll have to get them to just drag it out of the way because we can't move it. We're just at the point of which we think the collision has occurred, so you can see there's a grey car further up here which has got quite a lot of damage to its offside panel. That's going to be where he's come off this roundabout and crashed. You can see then there's a lot of fluid on the roads, which leads to a big gouge mark in the road and then some nice big chunks out of the curb. And the curb is where is probably where he's burst his wheel. So his alloy's come off and he's continued driving down the road with no tyre on his rim, which is what's caused the damage to the road surface to the point at which he's left it just in front of our car further back there. So it's quite a long travel period from the point of impact all the way up to where he's actually left the vehicle.
The parked car has been badly damaged. Sergeant Ayrton has tracked down an eyewitness.
I approached the roundabout.
Yeah.
The van came round.
Yeah.
And as he went past me, I went out. And then he stopped,
Yeah.
causing me to brake
Right.
before I hit him.
Right.
As I went round him, he started giving me some verbal abuse.
Yeah.
We just heard a massive bang. The male with a jumper on had his hood up.
Yeah, it's nice that people will approach us and come and speak to me and give us those details. And you said he was unsteady on his feet, did you?
Yeah.
Took him a while to get back in the van.
He looked a little bit wobbly.
Yeah. But thank you very much anyway. All right.
With vital intel gathered, Sergeant Ayrton's attention turns back to the van.
Because it's locked, it will have to be recovered fully because we can't get it onto the truck, unfortunately, without dragging it. So we'll remove this so that it frees this road up.
Dan calls the local pound and the recovery team get cracking.
Our relationship with our car pounds is a really good one. Sometimes we'll have the same recovery operator that will turn up in the same day 3 or 4 times, and they know us, we know them. They already know what they're doing, so they get on with what they need to do, and then it allows us to continue doing what we have to do at a scene. No keys, unfortunately, for you. It should be all right just to be dragged on, to be fair. The recovery agents do have a really difficult job. They're working in quite dangerous conditions sometimes. They have a lot of specialist skills that we don't have. We're really glad that we have that close relationship with those recovery agents, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs properly.
The owner of the car had heard the crash at midnight and called the police.
Yeah, I've ordered it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Sorry that no one's come out to you beforehand, but we're the first people that can come out to it this morning. So the person that owns the other vehicle that's involved in this collision, the one a little bit further up the road, they've turned up this morning to come and speak to us, give us a little bit more detail about what's happened and fill us in on a few of the details.
So is the owner sent up in?
We haven't traced him.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I'm saying. The registered owner of the van, who's on the insurance, we've been and conducted inquiries at that address this morning, and it's a building site and there's nobody there. Yeah. So we haven't got anyone at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say we won't get anyone.
The van will stay at the pound until the mysterious owner can be tracked down. Edward's lorry has been caught up in a bailiff seizure.
This vehicle is going to Jamaica. Yeah, so it was in storage in Enfield. And basically, I don't know what happened. I've just got called that the bailiffs are here, and I need to come and collect my vehicle. Wind up here with so far a £600 bill.
With 18 years in the business, Amber's got some insight into how Edward might have got mixed up in this.
Generally, bailiffs and removals from unwarranted locations happen because people are taking advantage of a free space of parking. They don't necessarily have permission to park where they park. Sometimes it's there for an extended period of time, and as a result, they run into complaints from local residents or from the owners of the land themselves.
Words can't explain how I feel about all that's happening here. So, you know what I mean? I'm just being pushed back down into a hole that I'm trying to come up out of. That's all it is.
Edward has been working as a driver, but has now bought his own lorry to return to Jamaica. He's also spent hundreds of pounds on equipment to help him start a new life there.
Well, I'm from Jamaica, and I'm looking to go home. You understand? So I've always been a lorry driver here, so bought myself a little lorry, and I would remove this body and turn it into a tipper. So instead of being a curtain side, it would be a tipper in Jamaica. In here at the moment, I have catering equipment, personal household items, and stuff like quad bike, washing machines, and stuff like that, but it's mainly catering equipment. I'm trying to make my way back home. These are the stuff, or some of the stuff that is needed I'm not involved in any illegal activities. I'm a lorry driver. You understand? I'm just trying to get home. I bought this truck. Yeah, now it's costing me basically what I don't have. Because I need to find money to pay for this. I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just trying to go home.
Unfortunately, Edward won't be going anywhere until he resolves some problems with the lorry.
It wasn't like this when it got picked up this morning. The grill is missing from here. Yeah? The mud guard. That's all missing on both sides.
Amber is the first port of call for any issues.
It's more a working with people on a personal basis. And when you speak to someone, you would hope that you come across as someone that seems to be approachable, that seems to be willing to assist, to get an end result for the client that you're speaking to. And if you're unable to at least find a way that they can forward the process. It's all about enabling.
But I have some bad news because
Okay.
the grill is broken.
Okay.
It wasn't like this morning. Both mud guards have been ripped off.
Right.
And one of the back lens are broken.
Okay, so I'll go down and take some photographs and put them through our customer services team. I will grab my trusty camera. To recover a vehicle without keys, it depends on two things. Is it open or is it locked? If the vehicle is locked, you would need to release any brakes that makes the vehicle freewheeling, and the vehicle would be towed away on a lift and carry.
This process shouldn't have caused the damage that Edward's alleging. But to get to the bottom of things, Amber will need to check her records.
So you believe that these things have happened after?
I'm just making reference that they're fresh, yeah?
Oh, okay. All right.
If you look at the metals, you can see that they're freshly moved. So there was a ship guard on it.
Okay. Bearing in mind, recovering a vehicle without keys does present its own series of issues.
Yes, Amber, I agree. But...
Okay. Right. That's everything that you're wanting to report. Okay, that's fine. All right, so what I can do is I can send these photographs to our customer services team. If you then just get in touch with them, and I'll give you a contact detail to do so, and I'll let her know your details as well, so that you can be in contact, and that way it can be resolved, hopefully, in short order for you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes. If I'm being honest, guys, the system is a fraud. You understand? I work hard.
Edward's in a bind. If he wants to get the vehicle out, he needs to pay up so he can stop racking up additional charges. But if he removes the lorry today, he's worried that Lantern and the bailiffs may not find out who's responsible for the damage. The ball is in his court.
2 o'clock now. So by about 4:15, I'd need to know that you are wanting to collect the vehicle. See what you can do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
Carpound CMG processes thousands of vehicles every year, and it's Terry's job to keep the wheels turning.
Basically, when these cars come in, I have to find a space for them, and I have to, when the customer comes back, when he's paid his insurance or his road tax, I have to give them their car back. It's pretty straightforward. Keeps me busy, though.
But business has been booming of late, and Terry's running out of space.
We are very close to being full, and the weekend is our busiest time. This is silly. You know, no insurance, no tax. You crash into one of these, you're going to be out of pocket. All these, you know, we've got 80+ vehicles here. That's bad.
With the yard fit to burst, Terry's hoping that the owner of this van will collect it soon.
This is the next appointment on our list, which is a little van that came in as an obstruction nearly 2 weeks ago, and they are due on my planner to come and collect it today, but they're obviously running late, so we'll wait and see. probably broken down at the side of the road. Whoever was driving it walked away rather than arranging their own recovery, or maybe they'd gone to get recovery but decided to go do something else instead, and it's an obstruction. If it's obstructing traffic, it's got to go. I think the people who have due for this van have actually turned up now, so hopefully it's another one gone.
But the van's owner has sent his engineer into reception.
Hello. How can I help? I've come to take a track around the video. All right, okay. Do you want the readies?
The engineer is here to strip the van of any valuable equipment.
How you doing? All right? Not so bad.
Which means the owner wants to scrap the vehicle, but salvage anything reusable.
Someone nicked the roof bars off it.
And one item he was hoping to recycle appears to be missing.
You nicked my roof bars? There's a set of roof bars in that van, isn't it? They're gone.
The office staff check their records, and the roof bar mystery is solved.
The roof bars are in the back of the van. Apparently, as they went to move it, one of them fell off, so they took them off and put them in the back for you.
I ain't worried about it. I was just saying, I thought someone's nicked them.
Oh, no. They're in the back of the van.
Right. All right then, thank you. No worries.
When we turn up to pick up a vehicle, one of the first things the driver does before he loads the car is take pictures around, in and of the car, i.e. damage to the vehicle, anything that's inside. As regards removing items, when the car is brought back to the yard, they de-kit it and put it in a bag. And it either goes in the boot and sealed, or it will go into the property store. So, you know, that limits what people can say you've taken. Put these down here. There was his roof bars he was asking about. Okay. No worries.
Despite getting rid of as many vehicles as he can, Terry's still tight for space. So tight, in fact, that everyone is having to reverse out of the pound.
It is expensive. It's an expensive car park, but the hope is that anyone who leaves their car here for any length of time comes back and collects it, because if they don't, you know, they go to the scrapyard.
And it won't be long before it joins the other 1.4 million vehicles scrapped in the UK annually. Two days ago, Dorothy's car was impounded.
I was driving home on Tuesday from my daughter's down south after being there for Easter. As I was coming into Wellingborough, the police car was showing, you know, follow me. And I followed him, and when he stopped me, he said that I was being stopped because my car wasn't insured. And I was absolutely gobsmacked because I'd been paying the insurance for the last 2 years. He cautioned me and felt like a criminal, really. It was devastating, the experience. And then he said, we have to fine you. It'll be a fine of £300, and we'll have to impound the car. And that would be a recovery charge of £115. And I was just speechless. I was in tears. I didn't know what to do.
After the car was seized, Dorothy began her own investigation.
It was a typo error. For the last 2 years, I had been paying insurance on a car that didn't exist. Insurance people had put on my documents NGB instead of NBG. And they said, no, it's your fault because you should have checked it all. And paperwork doesn't come through as paper anymore. It comes through as on the computer, on your iPad. And I'm 76. I'm not really into all the, you know, technic things.
The insurance company insisted that the error lay with Dorothy.
I was so angry and so, you know, I felt I was walking up a brick wall, really, basically. They weren't going to help me. It was flat denial that I was in the wrong and that it could have been a typo error, their end. Said to them, well, you know, what's going to happen now, sort of thing. Because I was frightened that I was going to get pulled over again and told, well, you haven't been paid insurance for the last 2 years. And I was really frightened about all this.
When you get sent your policy documents, email, or you get it sent by post, check them. Because if you don't, it can happen. And it does happen here, you know, regularly, all because the insurance company haven't auto-renewed, or the insurance company have got a digit wrong, or you give them a digit wrong when you told them, and that can be costly. Yeah, I do feel sorry for them, but it's not my decision to give them their car back for free.
The police have since dropped the charges, but Dorothy has still had to foot the bill.
It's just been one nightmare. I mean, to say, why should I be jeopardised and penalised and pay out all that money when it wasn't my fault, as I say, in the first place? I felt sick. I felt like a criminal. I felt, God, what have I done? I felt as though I'd done something really, really dreadful. So, yeah, it crumbled me. I mean, for 2 days, I've been in tears, wondering what to do.
Dorothy is going to keep battling the insurance company to get her money back. Some of the most avoidable road accidents are those caused by dangerous loads that threaten every other road user's safety.
Serious road accidents caused by agricultural vehicles or insecure loads is a rare occurrence, although it does happen. They're usually dealt with by the officers at the side of the road, so getting recovered for that is not as critical unless the vehicle itself is in an unroadworthy condition, and then it comes under a different category of seizure.
Traffic officers Sean and Ewan have just started their shift. The officers are alerted to a farm vehicle with a suspect number plate.
I just want to be able to make sure you can see the index of the vehicle.
Yeah, you can see that.
That is not strapped down, but that's an insecure load.
They follow the tractor.
That's not a number plate either. It's not coming back to anything. It's a bit odd.
Okay.
It's not coming up from PNC at all.
Insecure loads causes us quite a lot of problems as a police force, and I think as a society in general. It causes a lot of damage to cars on the lower level with bricks, ladders, debris coming off of any kind of vehicle, whether it's a normal car or a tipper truck. And that results in a lot of cars cluttering up compounds, vehicle recoveries with some serious damage caused to them, which is why it's so vitally important that we make sure that all loads in vehicles are correctly secured down. Hello, sir. There's a couple of reasons why we stopped you. Firstly, you've got no number plate, index plate on the trailer, but also the load on the trailer is not secured down correctly.
Right.
And I can only see the one index plate. So that's the reason we stopped you. Did you load this yourself, yes, or did someone else load it to you? What's your understanding about load security?
Well, it mustn't come off.
It mustn't come off, that is correct, yeah?
More than 21,000 road traffic accidents are caused by debris in the road each year. And this farmer is carrying over a ton.
So if you were to have an incident, heaven forbid you crash, and that trailer goes over, what is going to stop that from going all over the carriageway and affecting other vehicles?
Well, I guess nothing.
Nothing. So I'm not getting anything back on that registration that's displayed.
Well, we taxed it and got a new logbook for it.
Okay.
A week ago, or a friend of mine did it for
So has it only recently been registered?
Yeah, a week ago.
Okay, that's probably why I'm not getting back
Because
on it
I
then.
I lost the logbook.
Yeah, I can see it's coming back as taxed on there. Yeah, that'll be why. If you've only just recently re-registered it with the DVLA, then there's normally a delay in when it comes onto PNC, so that is fine.
Sean is keen to ensure the tractor and trailer are safe to drive.
Would you mind just going in, sitting in the vehicle and just putting your foot on the foot brake so to illuminate the stop lamps for me, please, sir? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, have you got hazards? Put them on as well. Anything?
You can see the brakes.
Oh, now neither indicators. So the hazards aren't, nothing's working on here.
So
it's an electrical issue. So there's a lot of frayed wires. Nothing is illuminating at the moment on the trailer. but there were no stop lamps, and now we're not getting anything nothing's working, which I can only assume is something to do with the frayed cable, yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot of goodwill and hope in these in this tape. It's a bit of an issue because you can't continue on your journey with indicators and stop lamps that aren't going to work, especially when the trailer itself is obscuring the indicators and the stop lamps on the drawing vehicle.
Due to the size of the vehicles involved, it'll be a tricky tow if they call up the local pound. Sean and Ewan must decide whether to seize this tractor and trailer or not. Car pounds play a vital role in seizing cars from people who have broken the law. But sometimes it's the victims of crime that find themselves visiting the pound. And yard manager Terry is always on hand to reunite car theft victims with their beloved motors.
Stolen vehicles, we've got quite a few in here at the minute, and we always have. A lot of the newer cars, which are keyless entry, they don't even need to steal your keys. They've got a box that they can put to your front door and copy the code that key is given out all the time and get in your car and drive away.
It's a busy day at CMG and there's a new arrival at reception.
Hey, how can I help?
I'm here to collect a Volvo XC90.
Super, got your logbook and ID with you at all? Was it stolen? Yeah, so I'm picking up at the right way. That's super, could you do me a huge favour?
On Sunday, I was burgled at home at knife point, and they stole my car as a getaway vehicle. Distressing, it's very distressing. I own a small business, so they thought I would have cash in the house. Obviously I didn't, so they didn't get away with anything, but we're all pretty traumatised from it, to be honest.
The car may still be at risk if there are any sets of keys missing.
My system does tell me that it came in with no keys.
I've got the key.
Have you got both keys for it?
So I've got the spare on me, but actually somebody's found the other keys. They ditched the other keys, so I'm meeting them today.
No, that's perfect. I was just worrying that if obviously someone's still got a key, they can take it again.
Yeah. Had my children at home. There was 6 men came into the house in the middle of the night. Yeah.
In spite of such a harrowing ordeal, this woman still needs to pay for the release of her car.
Sadly, we're not paying the total for it. It's $240 to pay according to this. I'll do your so you pay card?
Yes, please.
You put your card in when you're ready.
I don't know why there ain't nothing in there, especially now.
You'll get someone to start getting your vehicle ready for you.
I think it's just disgusting, really. I think it's disgraceful, the whole thing. I won't be able to claim that back because they haven't damaged the car, so I don't have an insurance claim. So they've cost me another £240 as well. And it's not really how I wanted to be spending my day.
Good wash from the fingerprint dust, and your receipts inside there as well.
Is there fingerprint dust on the inside as well?
I don't think so. I haven't. I've just driven it, and I'm not covered in it, so that's
all right.
All yours.
All right, lovely. Thank you so much. Relieved to have it back and be going home. So.
I like to see cars going back to their rightful owner. You know, from a little Ford Fiesta up to the Range Rovers, it is good that they actually get their property back. I mean, you have to think, how would you feel if someone stole your car? I'd be happy to get it back. You know, if it was in one piece, you know, if it's got a few dents and scratches, that can be remedied. But, you know, to get my car back would be lovely, you know.
And it's not just cars the thieves are after. Next up at CMG reception are a father and son.
You guys are here for the bike, aren't you? Have you got your photo ID for me? Thank you.
Leon and Darnell are collecting their scooter.
Just need to quarantine and taking it away. So find your drugs and then find your.
Unlike some visitors to the pound, they've not broken the law.
We've come into the depot today to pick up my son's motorbike that was stolen on Friday night.
Darnell's scooter was lifted from outside his girlfriend's house.
Well, we got a knock at the door about 1 o'clock. I wasn't sure who it was, and by the time I got out, just see the police getting back in their car. So I said to my wife, turn your phone on to check, make sure everything's all right. And she had a voicemail from the police saying that they'd recovered my son's bike and that they wasn't sure if it was stolen, but they'd seen somebody pushing it down an area in Northampton, and the person dropped the bike, ran off. So they've recovered the bike with some damage.
And to make matters worse, there's a price to pay for retrieving the scooter.
There's 170 to pay on the card.
Don't really seem too fair, you know what I mean? How obviously they're the ones that stole the bike, but I've got to fork out for it all, you know what I mean? The damage and the recovery and everything, you know what I mean?
There's your invoice. If you just want to get out the place, you can out for your work. Thank you.
Darnell's scooter has been safely stored in the car pound, but it's not all good news.
Well, the steering lock's been broke, so obviously we can't drive it away today or turn it enough. Both of the wind mirrors have been kicked off, and there's a chip in the front mudguard on the bike as well.
We're going to take it to a shop now and get a price of what it could possibly be. He's had to pay £170 to get it out of here, and whatever it's going to cost, it's not going to be too cheap, I wouldn't have thought.
Quite often there is damage, because the person who's been driving around in it doesn't care. If they crash into a wall, they just drive off, they don't care. That's normally when they abandon it because it's no good to them anymore. If they've damaged the front wheel or, they've smashed the window, they'll go out and steal another one rather than worry about it. It's not their car at the start. They'll just change it.
The father and son now have to confront a tricky dilemma.
He hasn't gone through his insurance because his excess is £500 for the insurance. So really we want to find out whether it's going to be cheaper to do it without the insurance. And the other thing is, because it being £500, the insurance might just write it off. And then he'd lose the £500, he'd lose the £170 he's paid here, so it's £670 down. And then what you would get would be next to nothing, what the bike's worth. So fingers crossed it won't be too much.
As they hope for the best, the car pound will keep motoring on. Earlier, Surrey officers Sean and Ewan stopped a farmer with an insecure load.
Trying to think how many miles away.
It's about 2.5 to 3.
Basically, the tractor was going up the A24 towards Gibbons Grove. Noticed that it wasn't displaying a registration plate on the trailer, that the indicators and the stop lamps on the trailer weren't working, and that the load on the back of the trailer was not properly secured. So it should have straps. It was just placed on the trailer itself, which is dangerous. We work very closely with car recoveries. There are circumstances where it's not appropriate necessarily to get recovery because of the size of the trailer. It would have proved challenging to get a recovery operator down there to help remove it. So in that circumstance, we thought it was more expedient to escort the trailer back the short distance to the farm. We'll escort you back. I think we're going to have to do that because it's the only way we're going to get you there. We will be giving you a ticket for the offensive insecure load. You'll have 28 days in which to pay that fine or to contest it, whichever you choose to do so. In relation to your load, it's something you need to seriously consider because of the danger and the risk that poses to other people. If the unthinkable were to happen, that could cause some serious problems, especially if pedestrianised, like we're going pavements up here. If something happened, the brakes failed, and we already know that your lights aren't working, and this came off, it could do some serious damage to a pedestrian. So it needs to be secured with a strap. So we'll escort you back, we'll do the paperwork, and then we'll get you back and then we'll leave you to it.
It's been a farming first for Officer Sean.
This is the first time I've been to a farm to issue a ticket, I have to say. Not normally something we would do. The reason we're here is because we had to follow him back because the lights weren't working to make sure it was safe. So we do end up getting to some unusual places, but this is a first for me, a farm.
Just to check. So it's
It's just a £100 fine. There's no points on your licence. I have to caution you, so that's to say you don't have to say anything, but it may harm a defence if you do not mention now something which you later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Right, I just need you to sign this for me, just to say that you've accepted the ticket.
And with the fine issued, only one question remains.
It's a nice smell, isn't it? Is it your aftershave?
Imagine that.
Your name is?
Edward.
Edward. We met yesterday,
Yes,
so that's
we did,
fantastic. So we've got the formal release for you.
Yesterday, Edward came to retrieve a lorry that had been seized by bailiffs.
So the storage charges are significantly more than any vehicle, so it'd be a truck recovery fee that would be involved in that.
Edward wants to resolve the issue of the damage he spotted yesterday. Amber took some photos and passed the matter on to the customer services team.
Difficult to say that that had happened during our recovery.
After analysing the photos, Lantern made a goodwill gesture.
A management decision was made to refit some inner mudguards, which is where our workshop was instructed to attend the vehicle, fit a couple of mudguards to it so that the vehicle was to the client's satisfaction for the journey.
It's been an expensive and stressful experience.
I'm not happy with the extortionate prices that's been charged by the bailiffs, who I think is a rip-off. And not much to say about Lantern in this situation because Lantern only provided a recovery service. That's it, really. So I've got a fear. I've spent £850 plus, you know, my mates here with me, the petrol, and I'm gonna have to fuel up this now to take it to where I'm going. So it's easily £1,000 that's been added to whatever it is that I'm trying to do here.
But now, Edward and his lorry are finally free to start the long journey to Jamaica.
I take it to the docks. It should spend approximately a month at the docks, and then it goes off. It's a 2-week journey to Kingston, Jamaica, yeah? And then it depends on how the wharf is when they get to Jamaica, but then it is processed and then I pay the duty on it in Jamaica and then I take it home. They've always said the grass seems greener on the other side. And the grass was green when I was in Jamaica, and I thought that it was greener here. And when I came here, only to find out it was AstroTurf. So I'm now trying to make my way back to the green grass at all. That's what I'm trying to do, basically.